What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla SPY and a couple of other tickers, break down what the news and data are suggesting for the stock moving forward, and what you should be watching for the overall market as we approach tomorrow. But before I begin the devil's information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Weeble link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull and deposit $500, you are guaranteed 20 free stocks. If you deposit $25,000 or more, you're guaranteed 75 of them. And the offer ends very soon in just a couple of weeks. Anyways, when it comes to Tesla, we have a very, very interesting structure. Although Tesla has a head and shoulders like structure, there's no confirmation of this actually breaking down just yet. And regardless of where this thing ends up going, I just want to note that we still have a much larger inverse head and shoulders structure that is developing right now on the bigger time frames. So regardless of any dips that do come for the short term, I still believe that they're going to get bought back up, and Tesla will eventually see a nice push as we approach the later days of this month and as we get closer to new big developments. So with the shareholder meeting coming up, there's going to be a lot of interest in what they end up saying about Elon Musk's pay package and such. And we're seeing a lot more hype about different stocks out there from Nvidia stock split and etc. So I'll be breaking down a lot of details about the overall market in this video first before I break down the charts and talk about what I anticipate to happen as time goes on. For tomorrow, it's going to be Monday, June 3rd, 2024. Please note that 15 minutes after the market opens, we have the S&P Global Composites. I'm sorry, the S&P Global Manufacturing PMI. Sorry about that, guys. 15 minutes after market open. And then 30 minutes after the market opens, we have the ISM Manufacturing PMI, manufacturing employment, new orders and prices. Now, just know that the new orders and prices are going to be very important for inflationary data as they're very, very forward looking and they're going to give us more insights on how prices are looking for this sector. So, what I anticipate is that I believe that looking at the way the market moves, there's going to be some volatility for the first 15 and 30 minutes. And I think the market still has upside overall. And it's going to have an effect on Tesla as long as there's no like really negative headlines going into tomorrow. So that's what I'm seeing, at least for the short term. More volatility for the first 15 and 30 minutes. We have some bill auctions at 11:30, but that's kind of minor. So we'll see how things go for the first hour of trading as time goes on. And then on top of all of this, we also have GitLab announcing earnings on Monday. For Tuesday, it's just Bath and Body Works. It's all very, very minor. We have Dollar Tree on Wednesday, and then for Thursday, we have Neo and Big Lots. Very, very minor earnings, at least for the week. I'll be paying a lot of attention to some of them, though, such as like Neo and just a few like that, but mainly just very, very small, not so significant stuff. Now, moving forward, Tesla's going to be adding hurry mode to the FSD driving profiles, which is very, very cool. This is actually going to be allowing them to pick their driving style that matches their preferences a lot more. So that's going to be very important. And then with this, it's going to be giving a lot more of these different modes, which have chill, standard, and also hurry. And we'll see what the differences are going to be when we try to see this, especially when Tesla's trying to avoid any issues with the NHTSA. So we'll see how things go with this. We're waiting for this next update, which is going to likely come very, very soon. It's been delayed for a bit, but we'll see how things go. Now, there's been a lot of headlines about how Tesla has this massive recall, this and that. That was actually kind of old. That happened on Friday in the morning. We're still seeing headlines talking about that, but once again, that's just old news. Don't read too much about that. And let me just clarify: there's no recall for Tesla. It's just a software update to fix a little seatbelt issue. Very minor stuff. That's going to be for them to help kind of like follow a lot of the regulations from the NHTSA. Now, on top of this, Elon Musk has been accused of $7.5 billion of inside trading in a lawsuit from a Tesla shareholder. This is a little bit negative news, in my opinion, because of the fact that some of them are looking at Musk in very, very different lights. They're accusing him of offloading his shares when Tesla was at a much higher price. So it's a little bit negative. This could be a little negative for Tesla stock, but I'm not expecting this to be that huge unless we see this start to explode on mainstream media. I don't think it's that horrible, so it shouldn't be that bad. There could be a small dip in Tesla thanks to this, but hopefully it's nothing too crazy. Now, for Tesla, we have 67 million being the volume, a little bit below average. We're still getting low volume, which is why Tesla's consolidating. Short volume is also decreasing just a bit, so nothing too insane. GLJ Research is giving Tesla a sell rating once again. Not much is changing with the share price for now. And we tend to see more volatility around 10 o'clock a.m., around noon, and also during other times. For daily seasonality, we have a tendency of seeing More volatility on Mondays. We're green only about 53% of the time. June is historically a very strong month for Tesla. 78% of the time we do pump. So hopefully we get a strong June as things go on. This may also depend on the shareholder meeting and such, but I still see potential in it. So with that being said, let's talk about the market. What do I see for Tesla and etc. moving forward? For the medium term, as the month of June progresses for the next few weeks, I do anticipate some upside. I think Tesla will eventually run to 200 into the 200s. Now, even if we do get a small dip, that doesn't matter. Tesla will eventually get up to the 200s, in my opinion. So I anticipate some upside. But but that's more like for the next few weeks. For the shorter term, there's something else developing on the charts. Notice that when I bring up, let me actually switch over to like the 4 hour back to that because I feel like I want to show you guys how interesting this is. For the last couple of weeks, it's just been sideways price action for Tesla. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Same old, same old. Tesla's just continuing to consolidate, doesn't really have much of a direction yet. And if we manage to hold above 180, then yes, we have potential to push to 185. And if we break that, we're eventually going up to 200, in my personal opinion. If we lose 173, we're going to be a little bit more bearish, and we could be dipping all the way down to fill this gap below towards this 168 area. So the question is, what is Tesla going to do? Looking at the negative headlines about Elon Musk, I want to make it very clear that I still want to be unbiased when doing my analysis. Once again, lose 173, we're more bearish, and we could get a temporary gap fill to 168. But I wouldn't turn extremely bearish because I still think Tesla will get bought back up and run because of the bigger inverse head and shoulders. If we break 180, we're bullish. In my personal opinion, I think we're just kind of stuck in the middle, continuing to shuffle. And Tesla doesn't really have much of a direction right now. It's just continuing to trade sideways. Tomorrow, we could dip a little bit and retest our key EMAs, this 176 area. If we get more bad news, we could dip a little bit lower before we try to rebound. I think the market may help Tesla rebound a little bit later on, and we could be looking for a push for 180. But this also depends on what headlines come out for tomorrow morning. So we will see which way we break for the bigger move, but I do anticipate a little pop that's going to be coming after a dip. So look for a dip back down to our EMAs and a rebound intraday, and we'll see how things go from there. That's going to be very, very key for how we end up moving. Now, despite how Tesla's performing, I think the market pumping could help Tesla to some extent. So look for a little dip and a potential bounce. If we manage to hold above 180, we're going to be looking for a bigger push all the way up, and Tesla could start the rally that we're looking for. Now, one concern I have about Tesla is the fact that we do have a head and shoulders right over here. So are they about to make the head and shoulders play out, or is this going to be a trap? I wouldn't fully trust them all the time because there's plenty of times this year when they're just traps for retail. But right now, Tesla's very indecisive. It's just trading sideways, doesn't have much of a direction. So I'm just waiting. It's just a game of patience. We'll have to wait and see what catalyst comes out and if we could finally get the break. So for tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised if we dip a little bit, retest our key EMAs around the 176 area. Could dip a little bit more thanks to the Elon Musk lawsuit before we try to rebound and try to push back up to 180. And I'm hoping we try to break past 180. If we close above that tomorrow, that's going to be a good sign for Tesla. Otherwise, we just continue to consolidate. But that's what I'm seeing at least for tomorrow. For SPY on the 4 hour time frame, we are looking very, very bullish, especially because of the fact that when it comes to other factors, the market is becoming more greedy in terms of its momentum, and we have this gap to fill around this 530 area. I think that tomorrow, SPY, whether we start off a little lower or not, it doesn't matter. We're going to be easily pushing to 530, if not 532. If that breaks, 534 is our next resistance. I favor the upside for SPY and another push into the 530s. I think it looks very, very bullish from a technical standpoint. Now, if you want more information about this, you look at my other video where I broke down the weekly and the monthlies, the time frames for them. The daily also looks very bullish on SPY. We have this gap to fill over here. I think we're easily pushing higher. I think the share price looks very strong, so I favor upside greatly. For Nvda, there's going to be a lot of hype with the stock split that's been announced. And the closer we get to the date, it's going to get even more volatile. So I think that as we get closer, it's going to be happening next week. We're going to be looking for some very, very nice moves. And right now, it depends if we could hold 1,093 or not. If we lose 1,093, Nvidia could dip down to 1,080. If we hold above it, we're going to be pushing back up. My gut is telling me that's trying to bounce here and trying to push back up to at least 1,120. So I do favor upside a bit more. But just to be safe, we'll wait and see what the move ends up being. For the QQQ being fueled by Nvidia and Apple, we need to break past 452 to turn even more bullish to get up to 453.5, if not higher levels. And if you're bearish, you want to see it reject and lose 450. If that's the case, 448 is coming. I personally favor we're going to be pushing even higher towards 453.5, if not higher levels. So I think the upside is looking a bit more probable, and I do favor that a little bit more. For a few more tickers out there, we also have Bitcoin is looking decent to me. I think we're going to be looking for a test tomorrow around that 68,000 area. That's very close to our 50 EMA. So I favor upside a little bit more, and I think it's very probable we see a nice push. So look for that at least for Bitcoin. I think that there's a very good chance we might try to pump a little bit more, and we'll see how things go from there. But look for a test of 68,000 and just lots of sideways price action. Could Bitcoin pump to new all-time highs in the next few months? Yes, it could. But for now, we're kind of in a consolidation phase, excuse me, guys, and then we'll push higher later on. For Apple's looking more bullish with all the AI hype that's been coming out for the last couple of days and more details about the iPhone 16 Pro. I wouldn't be surprised if this continues to push. So I'm going to be looking for a test of this imbalance fill towards 193.5. I find that to be very probable. So we'll be looking for more upside. Now we have another winner. It's Neo. I said in my video that Neo is going to likely see some substantial upside, and I favor that because Neo just announced an all-time high deliveries record, which is very, very bullish news for them. We have a 20,544 deliveries in May, a 233% increase overall, and it's a new all-time high record for them. I think this is going to start pushing higher towards $6. We're going to be looking for shorts to get squeezed as we got a very, very big face-ripping deliveries report, which is absolutely incredible. For more details about the markets, I'm going to be a little bit more blunt with the rest of these. Just one more thing about Tesla, guys. Despite the head and shoulders that's forming on the 4 hour, nothing is guaranteed yet as Tesla is still trading sideways within the range. So we'll see which way we break. Do look for a little dip tomorrow morning and see if we can rebound it. If we manage to close above 180, we're going to be looking for a big pump on Tesla. So we'll see if Tesla follows the market or not. But that is something I just wanted to note. Don't forget, Tesla is also heavily news dependent. So we'll see what the headlines say for tomorrow. But I anticipate a little dip and then a bounce tomorrow as the most likely possibility. All right. So we'll see how things go. Make sure you watch the range just to be safe in the levels I called out. Without further ado, let's talk about the others. So for Palantir, we have resistance currently at 21.8. We also have support at 21.39. We could dip a little bit more and retest that support before we try to rebound. So as of right now, we're kind of trading sideways within a range, but I think that's we're going to dip a little bit before we try to bounce. In my personal opinion, just remain sideways. Supermicro is at support right over here. If we lose support at 762, we're going to be dipping all the way down towards the 740s. If we bounce up here, we're going to be looking all the way up for 800. In my personal opinion, I think that is trying to hold support. We have a double bottom like structure. So I think we might try to be pushing back up to 800, then consolidate up there. For Rivian, we look more bullish with an inverse head and shoulders like structure. I remember this from when I was last looking at this. So I think this is going to lead to upside, and we're going to be pushing all the way up towards the 11s. So I favor upside on Rivian and a push for the 11s very soon. For SoFi, I wouldn't be surprised if we push all the way up to 7. I think $7 is coming. And then we have another imbalance all the way up to about 7.1. So I favor upside a bit more. For the IWM Russell 2000, I wouldn't be surprised if we go up to about 207 then 208. So I favor upside a bit more. I think there's a very good chance we do continue to pump. For AMD, we're looking a bit more bullish. I'm going to be looking for a push all the way up towards this 170 area. We have a nice accumulation structure, and we're looking more bullish overall. So look for 170 to 172 very soon, in my opinion. For ARM is also trying to push up towards 125. We have a nice accumulation structure as well, and I see upside potential, at least for now. So we'll see how things go around this resistance, and I think there's more upside potential. For Coinbase, if we break past 227.5, we're going to be pushing to 232. And if we end up dipping, look for 221 as support. I have a feeling it's going to try to break past 227.5, but we need to watch for that for confirmation for this thing to bounce. If we fail to do so, we're going to reject and dip back down to 221. If we break it, we're going to be pushing back up. So watch for a test of 227.5. Let's see if Coinbase could break it or not. If we do bounce. For Amazon, we're holding support currently really well around this 173.8 area. If we hold this, look for a rebound and a push all the way up to about 178. So I see potential in Amazon to try to bounce. For Meta, I'm seeing potential in this as well. We could be looking for a push all the way up to about this 470 area. So I favor that a little bit more. I think 470 is very probable. For Microsoft, I think Microsoft is going to likely try to rebound as well. Look for a test of 415.5. If we break this, we're pushing up to about 420. If we reject here, we're going to be dipping all the way down towards 412. My gut is telling me we're going to be pushing all the way up towards about 420. I do favor that a bit more. For Google, in my opinion, could be pushing all the way up towards the 175 area. And if we reject here, we're going to be dipping back down to 172. My gut tells me there's going to be a rebound towards 175 first, close to our 50 EMA. So I do favor that a bit more. For GameStop, it depends if we could hold above 22.5. If we hold this, I think 25 is coming on GameStop for a little rebound. If we don't hold 22.5, we're going to be dipping back down to lower levels, into the lower 20s. So my guts is telling me it's going to try to rebound for 25. Let's just see if we could hold this support on GameStop for a nice little pump. Same thing with AMC. I think AMC wants to test 4.48, the 20 EMA. So I favor it's going to try to come back up here where this green line happens to be for a push for 4.48 as the most likely possibility. For DJT, it's looking a little bit more bearish on the 4-hour time frame, showing some weakness. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually come all the way down towards this 47.5 area for a little dip. So we'll see how things go after that. For the VIX, we're actually getting a little rejection off this double top like structure. We have a gap to fill all the way down here towards 12. So I see the VIX dipping lower and getting a big rejection because the market's going to likely continue to pump. The 10-year treasury yield is kind of rejecting. If we lose 4.49, then yes, we could be dipping all the way down towards 4.4. It is dipping a little bit. It does have some weakness, so this does favor upside for the markets. So we'll see how things go. And then for the dollar index, the dollar is also forming like a bearish divergence, so it could be dipping all the way down towards 104. So we're going to be looking to see if we get a rejection that could be bullish for the markets as well. So with that being said, guys, thank you all so much for listening. Tesla is very indecisive. We have to give this even more time. I know it's kind of boring, but I still see potential for this to try to break out. As long as we could hold above 180, I think that this thing will try to start pushing higher. There is potential in this. Regardless of what happens, even if there is some kind of like little pullback, it doesn't matter because for the medium term, I still see a bounce off this inverse head and shoulders. So whether we get a little dip or not doesn't matter. We're going to eventually run later on in the next couple of weeks, in my opinion. That's my personal opinion, guys. We'll see how things go. But with that being said, I just want to thank you all so much for listening. Please have a great day, guys. I'll be back, by the way, tomorrow before the market opens, as I typically record my videos. And we'll see how the data looks as I give you guys some insights on how the headlines look. Don't forget that the news also heavily dictates Tesla. That's another very big factor you have to remember. Whatever comes out on the news affects Tesla on a daily basis. So that's going to be key for it as well. And then we'll just have to wait and see how things go. All right. So I really appreciate all you guys. Please have a very, very awesome rest of your Sunday. Please take care, spend time with people you love, and do what's great. I really want the best for everyone, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of the weekend, and I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you, and peace out.